My name is Tiffany Raspberry. I am the Deputy Mayor for Intergovernmental Affairs for New York's 110th Mayor, Eric L. Adams. Welcome, and thank you for joining us this evening to commemorate Black History Month at Gracie Mansion. I would like to take a minute to reflect upon the origins of Black History Month and why we honor the culture and contributions of African Americans today. As you all know, Black History Month was originally observed as Negro History Week in the 1920s and later expanded to a month-long commemoration in 1976 by President Gerald Ford. This occurred during the 200th anniversary celebration of America. In a letter written to commemorate the occasion, President Ford acknowledged the contributions and accomplishments of Black Americans throughout American history to our national life and culture, and urged all Americans to join him during the first national recognition of Black History Month. It's been nearly 50 years since President Ford declared the first national Black History Month commemoration. We've made great strides as Black people since that time, but still have so much more work to do. As we prepare for the 250th anniversary of America next year, it is important to remember all of the people who paved the way for us to be here today. Like the first Black mayor of the city of New York, David Dinkins. The first African American man elected to the New York City Council and to represent New York in Congress, Reverend Adam Clayton Powell Jr. And the first Black woman elected to United States Congress, Shirley Chisholm. I personally draw daily inspiration from these great leaders and stand in power on their shoulders every day. And as the only second Black mayor of the city of New York, Mayor Adams has made it his mission to honor the legacy of those who came before him by being a champion of the people of the city of New York. He has been committed to making the city more livable, safer, and affordable for New Yorkers since the day he took office. And for that, I want to take a moment to honor and celebrate Mayor Adams for all that he has done for New Yorkers during this Black History Month celebration. You can clap. Now, while we celebrate Black History Month during the month of February, I want us to remember that we are living in Black history every day. American history is Black history, and New York City history is Black history. Thank you, and happy Black History Month. I'd like to now introduce the Department of Small Business Commissioner, Ms. Dinah Shaw-Gross. Thank you.
My goodness, the crowd has grown, and you're gorgeous. You know what's wonderful about being Black is I look across this room and I see diversity, and I love that for us. It's such a pleasure to be here with you tonight. My name is Dinah Shaw-Gross, and I am the Commissioner of the New York City Department of Small Business Services. Thank you, that's very kind. SBS's mission is to provide equity of opportunities to New Yorkers, and we do that through a focus on connecting them to living wage jobs, helping New Yorkers launch businesses and operate thriving businesses, as well as supporting thriving commercial districts in our neighborhoods. And we are in the midst of an amazing economic recovery in New York City, where we've seen a surge of Black business creation, especially in our outer boroughs. And we've also seen a surge in the labor force participation by Black New Yorkers, up more than 3 points since the beginning of this administration and hitting an all-time record in October. And what does that tell us? It tells us that Black New Yorkers are using their passion, their positive obsession, their skills, their expertise, and they are striving for economic opportunity in our city. And in doing so, they are contributing to the economic foundation for all of us. And that's what work does. Work in public service is a privilege. I take it as a privilege every day, but all labor is honorable. All work is honorable and contributes to this city. Earlier today, I took my staff on a tour for Black History Month. We visited the African Burial Ground National Monument in Lower Manhattan. And if you've never been to that site, I encourage you to visit it. It was a little heavy for a work excursion, but we handled it. And we handled it because it's important to take advantage of the parts of New York City that really express the history of the city and tell the story of Black American labor participation in New York City. So the story of Black enslavement and participation in the colonies wasn't just a story of violence, it was a story of labor. And that labor built the foundations of this city, the very streets of this city that we walk today. And in that visit today, I was reflecting back on my family's history. I wasn't born as a New Yorker. I grew up in rural Southern Maryland on a tobacco farm. And I'm not that old. So, but what shapes what work opportunities a family has? It has to do with sometimes where you're from, who you know, your access to education, your access to birth control, your access to opportunity. And so coming from rural Maryland and a large family with 16 children in one generation, 12 children in the next, rural life was what we had to offer. But we were proud workers. And everyone in my family worked hard, and every hard worker in that family supported this schoolgirl in living her dreams. And in making my way in New York City, it was work. More than anything, more than Cornell, more than CUNY, more than Columbia, that taught me about this city. And I stand here today as a representative of the workers who encouraged me, and those workers led me to my doctorate in law, to my first job with a labor union out of law school, and to my role in this as commissioner of this agency. And so I'm so grateful tonight to stand in a room of leaders and in a room of honorees who are supporting New Yorkers in connecting to their dreams of successful business ownership and operation and successful work, okay? Because when we empower New Yorkers through work, we empower generations, and we also shape the telling of history. Historicity, word for the night. It's the quality of being actually part of history, not being a myth or a legend. We are not a myth or a legend. We have power in this moment, and we are using our power in this moment to empower others and empower generations. So thank you for your labor. Thank you for your work, whether it's in public service, private sector, in the nonprofit sector, empowering New Yorkers to contribute, to live their dreams. We are shaping the history of this city through that labor. And I thank all of you and wish you the most meaningful Black History Month. Thank you so much.
Introducing Deputy Mayor for Administration, Chief of Staff, and Special Counsel to the Mayor, Camille Joseph Barlack.
Good evening, everyone. I have to tell you, I've been in the back room and the energy feels a little low, so I'm going to say, welcome to the People's House. Okay. That's right, because if there is ever a Black History Month where we need to be focused and we need to concentrate on what it means and how we got here, it is this month in 2025. Tonight, I am proud to join you all here at the People's House to celebrate Black History Month. Gracie Mansion is a unique place where we embrace our city's history, diversity, and culture, and where we celebrate what it truly means to be a New Yorker. Under this administration, and at the direct request of the mayor, we have made Gracie more inclusive than at any other time in recent history. As I think was mentioned by Commissioner Sherman, Black history is American history. There has been no period in the history of the world and in this country where Black people have not contributed substantially to virtually every sector of our society. Let's hear it. Yes, yes, yes. As we celebrate and remember the lives of those that came before us, lives full of vision, resiliency, and purpose, we in turn pave the way for a more equitable and vibrant future for all. Some of you have heard me talk about my heritage. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago and came to the United States as a child. But the memories of my mother working double shifts, overnight shifts, putting herself through school, needing to leave me home alone so she could do what needed to be done, these are stories that transcend nationality. As I look around this room and think of how far we have come as a people and about all of the work that we continue to do to make a difference for our community, I am grateful for the team that I have at City Hall and our incredible team of commissioners. This is the most diverse place that I have ever worked. And when we sit down to discuss issues, to develop solutions for our communities, you should know that we very much bring our lived experience and the experiences of our families and our ancestors to the table to ensure that we are designing solutions that work for all. In a world of challenges, a world demanding perseverance, the work that we are all doing is what will move us forward. And so it is now my pleasure to introduce a man who lives Black history every day. I am proud to welcome the second Black mayor in the history of our city, the 110th mayor of the city of New York, Eric Adams.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. And no, it is, yeah, Ezra. It is really good to be here, and I think that Camille really verbalized what is important to us throughout the years of opening Gracie Mansion. You grace us with your presence, and so many people have been here and felt empowered because throughout living in the city, they'd never been here. We opened the backyard, the tent area for different cultural events of all groups. And so one can't say, well, we're just focusing on the African-American community and the Caribbean diaspora and the Black experience. We have opened this place to all. And we've allowed everyone to really feel empowered in this city under this administration. And, you know, right now, you don't get the full glimpse of what we have accomplished, but I am clear when people look back over our tenure as this administration, this is one of the greatest administrations in the history of this city for how we lift up everyday people. I was at One Police Plaza the other day talking about a Black History Month event, and I reflected on a story that I often talked about, and I just want to share it here because I think it's so fitting during this particular period of time. It was back when I was campaigning to become a state senator. And we were finishing up, we would campaign, as I remember back then, we would campaign until 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. And when I finished during the week, I would always want to drive to Queens to see my mother. We have that small house in South Jamaica, Queens, that she was in until the day of her transition. And one night I went to see her. It was a cold night. It was raining. It was hailing. Mother Nature was doing its own thing, letting us all know that she's in charge. And so I was driving on the Bell Parkway. And on the way, getting off at the Farmers Boulevard exit, there was a car on the side of the road with the hood up, and a man was under it. And inside the car, when I walked past it, I pulled over. You know, once a police officer, my brother Bernard would say, you're always a police officer. I pulled up next to him and asked him, was everything all right? But inside the car, there was a woman with a baby. She was holding it, and it was extremely cold. And he stated that, sir, my alternator was bad, and my battery died. And if I can get a boost, just move to the gas station on Farmers Boulevard in the North Conduit. And I stated that I will give you a boost. I pulled up next to his car and pulled out my battery cables. And we couldn't see because he was parked under an area where the light wasn't. And I remember I had a book of matches. Book of matches. And I pulled out the first match, lit it, the wind blew it out. Second match, the wind blew out. Third, fourth, the wind blew it out. Several other matches. And finally, I remember when my dad used to smoke, he used to cuff the flame to prevent the wind from blowing it out. And we used about 12 or 13 matches, but finally, we were able to connect the positive, the negative to the cables. He started his car and he drove off. And I sat there in the car looking at those book of matches. And it's representative of what we are right now. Each match represents an individual, a human being. No matter who you are, we did not sign a contract in life that immortality is part of our existence. We're mortal just like that flame. It will burn and then it will be extinguished. It will go out. The question is what are we going to do with our light? Some people use their light as emotional arsonists and burn the dreams of others and enjoy it. There were some matches in the books that no matter how much I struck it, it would not light. Some folks are just mere insignificant pieces of paper with red tips on them. You got to discard them. But the most powerful part of it was that match one did not see the car drive off. Match one did its job. Match 2, 3, 4, and 5 did their job. And so as we look at this relay race of life, don't worry about who gets across the finish line. Just make sure you do the right handoff with the baton so the person can continue the race. Don't get caught up in all that other stuff. Lou Rawls used to say at the United Negro College Fund, mothers and grandmothers who never knew what college was about, they used to save jars of pennies and quarters on their mantelpiece, hoping that black and brown people can go to HBCUs. And they did that not because they wanted you to buy a BMW, they wanted you to do something for the communities that you came from. He did that without knowing what was the final progress. He did it without knowing what was the future to hold, but he knew it was the right thing to do with his match. Because a match can light a candle that can go for generations to come. And we're still feeling the impact of Lou Rawls' impact. But finishing your leg, Nat Turner didn't see Marcus Garvey, but he did his leg. Marcus didn't see Rosa Parks, but he did his leg. Rosa Parks did not see Barack Obama, but she did her leg. Each leg of the race is to allow the next race to go through and continue the relay in the proper way. David Dinkins created our MWBE program, but I took up the baton and made sure that the race he started, we're doing it with 30%, 33% going to the MWBEs. That's where we are. And remember what happened when those flames were prematurely being blown out? What did we do? You had to cuff it. There are people in our lives that are flickering right now. They're about to go out for so many reasons. They're in a state of depression. They're in a state of mental health. They're in a state of uncertainty. They're in a state of homelessness. They're in a state of abusive relationship. They're going through some stuff. And we see them and say, how are you doing? And they say, I'm hurting. And you say, have a nice day. Stop and cuff them. Cuff them. Stop the winds of adversity from blowing out the flame. Don't just sit there and watch people prematurely lose their flame, because the flame you allow to go out prematurely is the flame you're going to need in your life. So this is a biblical moment. You know, when Jesus was on the cross, he said, God, forgive them, for they know not what they do. All these Negroes who are asking me to step down, God, forgive them. Are you stupid? I'm running my race right now. How in the middle of the race A race that has built more housing in year 1 and year 2 in the history of the city. A race where you put 33% billions of dollars in MWBEs. A race where you are witnessing more young people signed up for pre-K and 3K in the history of the program. More people cycle out of homelessness into permanent housing in the history of individual years. More people moving from homelessness into permanent housing in the history of those independent years. More people participating in the FEP voucher program in the history of the program. More jobs in the city of New York in its 400-year history. 1 in 5 jobs in small businesses started under this administration. Decreasing the cost of child care so mothers can go back and be in the work environment from $55 a week to less than $5 a week. Taking 20,000 handguns off our street so bullets don't carve highways of death, killing our young people so they can't run their relay. Closing over 1,300 smoke shops in the city. Paying for the college tuition of foster care children so they can go to college and get a life coach until they're 26 years old. What we have done, you have to be stupid to try to stop me from running this race. It's a level of buffoonery that's going on, that's spreading as fast as COVID. Well, you shouldn't be talking to the president. Well, I'm the mayor of the biggest city in America. I will talk to who I want to talk to bring services to your city. And so you have to understand, people, why people are angry. I'm going to tell you this over and over again so it resonates. I'm you. I'm you. They want to talk about me, I talk about you. They want to fight me, I fight for you. I am you. And I'm going to continue to fight on your behalf. We came in with a clear agenda, folks. We didn't act like, go look at what I ran on. You go look at all the items that I ran on, and you will check them off and see we accomplished them. I knew what I was doing when I became mayor, because I knew if I stood close to you, if I stood true to you, regardless of what anyone states and say, I can deliver for you. And we assembled the right team to do it. You saw them speaking. You saw what they're about. These are authentic, caring people with life stories. They've gone through a lot, and we're helping people who are going through a lot. So my flame is still burning. And I'm going to leave the right foundation. We're not going to see all of this throughout the years materialize based on what we've laid out. Think about Adam Powell. When Adam Powell was removed from Congress, and a journalist came to him and put his mic in his face and said, look at you now, Adam. You're no longer the big chairman that you were. You're no longer this important person. And Adam looked at him with that cigar in his mouth, and he said, keep the faith, baby. Keep the faith. Adam already started the integration of the military services. He already put in place the economic stability and programs in place. He's already started integrating law enforcement communities and police communities. He knew that he had to run his mile, and he ran his mile, and he handed off the baton that others like Hakeem Jeffries and Rangel and others were able to continue to do the things that we have. And so that's what I want to say to you during this month where we celebrate Black history. Just allow your flame to burn. That's all. Just do what you're supposed to do during your time. And then you could move and rest in peace that you know you lived the life that you're supposed to do. Mommy raised the 6 of us, and she did it to know that one day we were going to have a real impact. Mommy wasn't here when I became mayor. She died months away and transitioned. But she was at peace because she said, I let my flame light the flame for the next. So my baby can be the second Black mayor of the city of New York. So light your flame, people. Don't let anyone extinguish it. Don't let it go out prematurely. Make sure that it burns as long as it's supposed to.
Introducing Honoree Tanya Gale, the Executive Director of Green City Force.
We want to thank Tanya Gale, one of our honorees, whereas it is our joint responsibility to carry on the legacy of Black leaders who paved the way, and that means ensuring our commitment to actions and justice is not fulfilled passively. This event offers all New Yorkers an excellent opportunity to honor the impact of our Black sisters and brothers while creating a path forward for future change makers. I am pleased to applaud today's honorees for their immensely positive change they have effected throughout the 5 boroughs. I, Eric Adams, Mayor of the City of New York, to Tanya Gale.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, appreciate it. I appreciate this recognition of my work in Green City Force. And I'd just like to say, during this financially vulnerable time for so many New Yorkers and organizations, I call on anyone who's able and willing to support organizations such as ours and others who are out focused on improving the quality of working class New Yorkers. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Introducing Honoree Jeff Lindor, the founder and CEO of the Gentleman's Factory.
Yeah, Jeff is an amazing brother. I remember when he first started the Gentleman Factory. He's the CEO of the Gentleman's Factory, which offers co-working spaces, barber and grooming stations, and other services that support Black and brown New Yorkers. The Gentleman's Factory is committed to facilitating career and networking opportunities for working professionals. He has done an amazing job in doing so, and congratulations to you, brother. You want to take a quick break?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for Mayor Adams, for your leadership for this great city, and for your amazing team. It's such an honor and it's a privilege. I was born in Haiti and I came to America at the age of 3 in 1989. And, the city totally embraced me and was able to do a really lot of great things. And it's truly an honor to be standing in front of you here tonight, in front of my mother, my 2 sisters, and my father, who just recently passed. I know that he's watching from above. So I just want to thank you. And I want to, say that Black men need spaces to be, to think, to, create, to innovate, right? And we're not looking to take anything from anyone else. We're really just trying to impact our communities just like everyone else wants to. So Gentleman's Factory serves as a space to create, to innovate, to invest in each other, to build businesses, and also to invest in our young people. And it's such an honor to have members of Gentleman's Factory here, and my partners Beatrice, Kingsley Dua, and Dr. Ramon Geis. If he's not here, he's probably watching. So again, thank you all so much, and again, thank you, Mayor Adams, for the privilege and the honor of this citation. Thank you.
Viva la Haiti! First revolution. Yeah. Yeah.
focused, no distractions, and grind. Stay focused, no distractions, and grind.
There are only two types of Americans.
They can't take that.